Well, a shaman is very simply someone who has seen the end. The shaman is somehow able to take the good and the bad together and come out of that encounter with a feeling of optimism and wholeness. In other words, a shaman is someone who has risen up out of the ordinary dimensions of daily life and actually looks down over the landscape of ordinary occurrence, and having seen the end, the shaman is liberated from anxiety and comes back to his or her society then, able to be an example, an exemplar, a kind of superhuman person who can cure, who can find lost objects, who can to some degree see into the future. The ordinary answer to that question would be a shaman is a folk medical practitioner. But from having lived with these people in the Amazon, I really believe that mathematics provides the best model for understanding shamanism. They actually have a kind of hyperspatial perception, and so they can knit their society together. Shamans predict weather, find game, settle interpersonal difficulties within the group. All of this is done through a superior knowledge of cause and effect that is obtained by rising up to this higher dimensional viewpoint.
The supermind.
You could think of it as the supermind, but to creatures in two dimensions, we would appear to be the supermind. It's simply that each world is somehow embedded in a larger world of dimensionality, and when we access that larger dimension, we attain a kind of superhuman condition. The shaman visits the end. Well, all that precedes the end. In other words, it's like turning to the last page of a novel and finding out how it all comes out. Once you know how it all comes out, you're free from the ordinary anxieties of worry and concern. You return to your place in time more like an actor on the stage rather than a person caught in a universe they can't understand. That's the key thing. The shaman understands the universe in which he or she is living, and the rest of us are only provisionally groping to understand. And this understanding is achieved through this higher dimensional viewpoint. The shaman literally looks down on time as a king looks down on his kingdom from his castle.
So shaman should be a king?
No, kings should be shamans. In ordinary terms, yes, because the shaman can do things other people can't do. A simple example would be, here we have a locked box. We don't know what is in this locked box, but if we could rise up to hyperspace, we would discover there is a hole in the box, and you can easily see what is within it. It appears as magic to those who don't understand it. To those who do understand it, it simply is a deeper vision of ordinary life. Yes. No, I don't think the shaman fears the end, because the fearfulness of the end is its unknowability. You know, what is death? What is the end of history? As long as you don't know, these things become a screen for the projection of your inner doubts and fears. Once you know, then it's possible to return to ordinary life and live it to the fullest. This is why shamans are often people who have survived some incredible ordeal or disease or psychedelic experience, because those kinds of intense experiences give you the correct perspective on your life and the lives of the people around you. Certain things you may not have thought of as important become important, and things you may have thought of as very important are seen to be trivial and without real worth. So it's a shift in perspective, and it's a way of relating to the felt presence of the moment. This is very important. A shaman lives in the moment in a way that we, who are the inheritors of Western civilization, phonetic alphabets, and print culture, can't even imagine, because our whole lives are based on such thoughts as, I'll be happy when I'll feel better when it's always projected into the future. The shaman is somehow able to take the good and the bad together and come out of that encounter with a feeling of optimism and wholeness. Well, a shaman is very simply someone who has seen the end. The shaman is somehow able to take the good and the bad together and come out of that encounter with a feeling of optimism and wholeness.